So everybody, we're here on location at North by Northeast 2013. I'm here with Alissa Vox Raw, local Toronto artist.
That's right.
So she's performing here today, or not today, sorry, she's performing here this week at North by Northeast. She had a show yesterday.
I did.
So what can you tell us about that show to get started?
Well, I had a show last night at the Painted Lady. It was great. It was actually, because I'm a looper, I'm kind of like a one-person band. You know, I sound like many people because either I'm like 20 voices or actually in the last year or so I've started looping synth, percussion, guitar, kalimba, you name it. So, you know, it's felt okay to just do my own thing and be independent, but lately, you know, I've started playing with this new band, so last night was our first full band gig, and yeah, it was great. It was really good fun to be able to play and loop with other people. It's a bit more challenging with the looper because the drummer's no longer keeping the time. Like, my looper is the queen. My looper is keeping the time, so the drummer has to pay attention, but you know, it went really well. I was happy.
So how'd you get started with looping? You know, did you start off with an instrument or anything, or did you just say, you know, just find out this device, excuse me, and just want to get started with looping?
Well, I think for me it was just a gradual evolution. When I was very young, I auditioned for a play or something, and not knowing at all that I had any, you know, musical skills or anything. But I sang and people listened, and I was like, hey, that's not bad. I like that. So I got really into that, and then every time I listened to anything, ever since I was a very small child, I listened to music, not just what was on the radio, but music from all over the world, just always looking for different sounds. And whenever I listened to it, I'd always harmonize over it. Just even if there was no harmonies that existed, I would just find harmonies. So, you know, I started, you know, as a teenager with guitar and piano, but I always really liked doing harmonies, and so I started this project. I am a sound engineer as well, and I started recording stuff at home, and so I started recording these a cappella songs, and in order to find a way that I could perform it, you know, I needed to find some kind of device that would allow me to do this. So yeah, so that's how I ended up starting to do the looping.
So what's it like performing with a full band?
With the loop station?
Yeah.
I mean, I've been performing with bands for many years, and well, I'll tell you one thing, since I started looping, because it is you're always on the verge of technical disaster. You know, you get any feedback, any problems, and that loops with you for the whole song. I mean, sometimes you can undo or make some kind of corrections, but sometimes you're just stuck with what you can get. You know, normally a musician can just play a mistake and move on. I can't do that. So playing with the band, for one thing, when I play with other people, I play with the band without the looper, I never get nervous anymore, just because my own project is so much more stressful. So playing with this band, because it's with the looping, you know, it's a bit more challenging because of that. But we also did a song, and we'll do more songs of mine that don't involve looping. And when we do those songs, it's just it's so kind of liberating in a way, because you know that you don't have that stress of keep in time, don't sway from this beat. You know, my looper's kind of like the metronome, and if you move off of that, then it all falls apart.
So I guess if or when it does happen that you get background noise, is it something you just, how do you just carry on? You just restart the song over again, or how do you move forward with that?
It depends on the situation, and it depends on how far into the song I am. You know, if I'm halfway, 3/4 through a song, sometimes I can try and do little things to minimize the damage. I have an expression pedal where I can alter the volume of my loops, or sometimes I can undo something, or, you know, sometimes I'll, on the spot, change the arrangement of a song just because on one part of the song there was some feedback that looped and it's just not pleasant to listen to. So instead of carrying through the song as I normally would, I'll just change the song so I can take that part out. So it's really something that it literally, no pun intended, keeps me on my toes as I'm using my feet, you know? But it really does, and it becomes, it's almost like a mind, I won't get Alzheimer's because it keeps the mind sharp, because you're always, You always have to stay one step ahead of what you're doing.
So how is it to write music with a loop machine? Do you just start with poetry, like writing poetry, or do you start with the piano or guitar? Or?
You know, no matter what I'm writing or what device I'm writing, I always start with the music. And I find it very easy to write with the loop station, especially if I'm just using my voice, because there's really no constrictions. I can just hum any kind of short melody, just like a little, sound, and then I'll just, harmonize over that and harmonize over that. I'm also a percussionist, so I really am very into counter rhythms and, polyrhythmic. And there is a bit of a percussive element to my looping as well. So, I'll just find some kind of counter melody that will go with what I had initially recorded. And then from there, usually I'll write the lyrics because I'll just hear something. Like when I'm writing the melody that goes over the loops, some words will fall into my, they'll just fall from the sky. And then whatever those words happen to be, I'll take that as my theme and I'll write a song on that. That's generally how it goes for me.
So you performed yesterday and you're performing tomorrow at One Fire Movement's CD release party. So
right.
you're getting the ball rolling.
Yeah.
So what can fans expect tomorrow night?
Well, I'm opening the night, which is great. I'm very, very happy and honored to be part of this showcase. It's for such a noble cause. Proceeds are going to Nelly Shelter and Amnesty International. And great artists, great lineup. I'm doing a short set at the beginning of the night, probably maybe 3 songs, bringing my band out again. And then, Brendan Albert, sitting right there.
He's off screen, guys, but he's here.
Believe me, I wouldn't steer you wrong. He's there. He's going to be playing a set at 8:30, and I'm probably, I'll be backing him on vocals for some of his set as well.
Oh, that's great.
There are a lot of great artists, Jessica Speziale, Judy Sachs, Christian Bridges, Rory O'Hearn, just fantastic artists. So I'm really looking forward to it.
How'd you get involved with One Fire Movement?
Well, actually, I met Tony after, Tony wanted to create the CD for, which was a while ago, and he just met a group of artists that he really liked their music, and he invited them to be on the CD. Brendan was one of those artists. So I actually met Tony through that experience because I backed Brendan vocally on the song that he recorded, I Believe in Love, for that CD. So just through that, and then Tony actually didn't hear what I do until actually pretty recently, maybe just a few months ago. So, it's very nice of him to include me in this night actually, because although I'm on the CD, I'm backing someone else, so I'm not doing my own thing. So I'm really the only artist that's not got my own song on the CD that's involved in tomorrow night's showcase. So I'm very, very happy and very thankful to him that he invited me to play.
So how did you get to Northeast?
How did I get?
Poorly phrased question.
How did I become involved?
Yeah. What made you decide to, you want to perform at Northeast?
I've been involved for many, many years. I love music conferences. I've been coming to panels for many years, and I actually started, North by Northeast was the first one that I got involved in, and it was probably maybe 7 or 8 years ago now. And at that time, I've only been doing this project for maybe 3 years, so I wasn't doing this. I was actually got involved as a volunteer, and I was doing sound for their outdoor shows. So I do sound. Eventually I got to sometimes play outdoor, the shows that I would do sound for, I'd sometimes get to play a set on my own, but for many years I was just doing, doing sound, and in exchange I'd get my pass and I'd get to join in everything and come to the panels and everything. and for some of the other festivals in town as well, I would do that. And then, yeah, since I started this project, you know, it just became like a real goal to actually come to these festivals as an artist rather than volunteer. Although, you know, sometimes I do both, but I still, you know, I had great times volunteering for this festival, met so many great artists. But yeah, so I'm feeling really, really happy, you know, to actually be coming to these festivals as an artist now. It makes me very kind of proud, actually, if I do say so myself.
If you could perform anywhere on Earth or in time, anywhere, where would you perform?
Well, I mean, I think I've been fortunate to have been able to play music in a lot of the places that I'd love to go back to, like, you know, like for example, like I was saying, I was staying at a place called, there's a School of the Arts in Cuba called the Instituto Superior de Arte. It's like a higher Institute of the Arts, and it's all just musicians and artists and dancers. And the musicians there are just unreal. So like getting to jam with those guys is just like mind blowing. But I do my plan for touring. When I next leave Canada, I might do some Canadian touring first. But I think my next goal would be the UK. Yeah, going back to Europe as an artist this time, but starting in the UK and then maybe traveling through some of Europe, and then eventually I'd like to play in Japan as well.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, they've got a great music scene there.
Yeah.
Very enthusiastic fans, and I just, you know, my stuff is kind of quirky, and you know, and I just like to go back there. So, but yeah, I mean, where wouldn't I like to play? I'd like to play everywhere, pretty much. So, world traveler, you know. I like to go back everywhere.
Fair enough. So, if you could have lunch with any musician or any famous person, dead or alive, who would you have lunch with?
Oh man, I think, you know, I'd have a couple of ladies. Like maybe I'd have Billie Holiday on one side, Karen O on the other. You know, like I have a lot of different influences. So, but ever since I was young. Because I'm female and I sing, I've always been very drawn to female vocalists. So I'd probably be like a whole slew of female vocalists. PJ Harvey, a bunch of people. But, you know, well, I'd have to make a long list for that. It would be like more of like a big buffet table full of musicians.
Not just one lunch thing.
Yeah.
So what would you say is your favorite Disney movie?
My favorite Disney movie?
Yes.
Oh man, I don't know. I don't know. I can't think of one offhand. I've seen lots, but Cinderella? I don't know. Is that right? Are those Disney?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So, what are your plans in the future after North by Northeast and after this upcoming event tomorrow?
Good question. After this week, I'm actually. Next week, it's really coming up actually, I'm going to New York for a festival there called Make Music New York.
Oh.
And it's kind of a busker festival, and it's interesting the way it works. You go through the website and then you just contact all these venues, and the venues that want you to play there or you suit their what they're trying to go for will contact you. So that day I'm playing 6 gigs in one day.
Wow.
Yeah, I got offered like 9.
Oh my
and I was
gosh.
like, that would just kill me. Even 6 is gonna be rough.
Yeah.
But some of them I'm gonna, you know, I'm splitting sets and stuff. So some of them I'm just gonna try and do a little bit shorter sets. But yeah, so I'll be starting at 10:30 in the morning is my first one, and my last one's at like 10 at night,
Wow.
pretty much.
Solid 12-hour day.
Full day.
Oh my
Full day of
gosh.
music. So it's gonna be pretty intense.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna do that festival and then just hang out in New York a couple of days and hit some open mics and, you know, meet some people. Looking forward to it.
That sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So, is there anything else you'd like to add?
I'd just like to say thank you very much for the interview today. I've been following you guys online, and I'm just really happy we finally got to sit down.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've been listening to music for a while now, so
It's amazing.
finally a good first.
Yes, definitely.
But thanks for sitting down with us, and this is INtune Magazine at North by Northeast.